Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Rush, and I'm an independent creative memories advisor located in North Carolina. Today I am going to come back at you guys with another tool video. I will be showcasing a little known feature of our beloved 12-inch trimmer. Let me guys know if this is something you knew how to use or if it's something you use often, and if you guys want to see more trimmer videos in the future. So I'm back this week to talk about my favorite tool, Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer. Today I would like to point out one of its most underutilized features. And you can find that feature right on the base of the trimmer. So if I pull this in close for you guys to see, I have a grid line, a set of grids set up on the base. These are in 1/4 inch increments so that you can do some easy measuring. But in addition to those perpendicular lines, we have one diagonal line marked with 45 degrees. Cool, great, it looks pretty. But what on earth do you do with it? So I am just going to give you guys some quick tips on how to use that, and then we can use those tips to create a quick, fun border and page project. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to cut 2 1-inch strips, and if you've got scrap papers around, this will work just fine for that. It would probably help if I actually go the full length of the paper when cutting, so that I can actually get these strips. So like I said, you're going to need 2 of them. Alright, so I've got my 2 1-inch strips. I can set the rest of that big piece aside. Then I'm going to give these a 1/4 turn, and I'm going to need 4 total 5-inch strips. So I'm just going to cut 5 inches twice. You could of course stack these up, cut them at the same time. Now again, this is just so I can do a demonstration. Not super big deal. Scraps will do if you're trying to follow along. Got my 3rd. Here's my 4th 5-inch strip. And then I end up with 2 little 2-inch remnants. Just put those aside, put them in your scrap pile. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take that strip and I'm going to align it on my base. But instead of using one of the grid lines to line it up, I'm actually going to line it underneath of that 45-degree line. So the top of your paper is going to sit just underneath that 45-degree line. Now I'm going to scoot it up that line until the top corner hits your cutting line. And depending upon whether or not you have changed your mat around, the cutting line will be the one closest to the large section of your base. So I am putting this on my line. Let me pull this up here so you guys can see it a little better. And I'm scooting it until that top corner is now hitting that first dotted line. All right, awesome. So just double checking that looks good to me. Hold it in place and give it a steady cut. You're going to get a perfect right triangle here. So that would be how you make triangles if you're trying to make corners. Obviously, the bigger the chunk of paper you're using, the bigger your corners, your triangles will be. But so this is how I cut it. I am now going to flip it over. So I'm going to now put my pointed end over here, and you'll see a new side of the paper. Having a white side is maybe not the best idea, but again, I'm just going to scoot that up until that piece of the triangle hits that dotted line. That looks pretty good to me. Yep. There we are. Now you can see I didn't get a super great cut on that. My angle, my corner wasn't perfect. You'll get better with time. You'll get better. I don't have a great visualization the way I'm standing here so that I can keep it under the camera. So you'll just have to bear with me. But so now I get this sort of it's a trapezoid shape. I always think it looks like gold bars, so I think that's kind of fun. I'm going to repeat that on my other 4 strips. All right, so I have cut my 4 trapezoids. I'm just going to pick those up, set my trimmer aside for just a second, and I'm going to show you what you can do with those trapezoids that you've cut. So you can actually use them to create a mitered edge frame, a mitered edge corner. So how cute would that be with a photo here to emphasize your photo. Pretend this is a photo. You can continue it by, creating a full box. Now, the closer you are to getting those corners perfect on that top edge, the better your box is going to look. So it looks super cute together. You can also sort of cheat them out. And have that invisible, that negative space creating your box. So that's really fun. So now this is what happens when you flip that paper over. You get the trapezoidal gold bars. And I'm just going to take this tiny little 2-inch remnant piece. It'll be just big enough, I hope, and show you what happens when you do not turn your paper over. So before, whoopsies. All right. All right, so before I was cutting my corner and then I was flipping it upside down so that you saw the opposite color underneath. So this time, instead of flipping it upside down, I'm just going to rotate it so that that top part is still visible. So I'm still looking at the same pattern is what I mean. So now instead of making that that trapezoid, those gold bars, now you've created a like a diagonal slash. So you can see how they're different. These ones, the corners are going the same way, and these ones, the corners are going the opposite way. So let's use what we've just learned and create a fun border. So I'm going to take this sheet and I'm going to make a 2.5 inch cut. This is going to serve as the base of my border. So once I've made this 2.5 inch cut, I am actually done with it. And I can set this other piece aside. Now I'm going to take this sheet and I'm going to make a 2-inch cut. Alright, I'm done with this guy. I can set him aside. Alright, so I've got my my piece of paper here, and I'm going to start just like I did with those 1-inch strips earlier, and I am lining my 2-inch strip on my 45-degree line underneath of it, and I'm just going to slide it up that line until that top corner is in line with my cutting area. So you've got that dotted line you can see, and of course you can always pop out your plastic cutting sight lines to make sure you're lined up. But I'm just going to go ahead and give that a cut. So I've got my first little triangle Now I'm going to flip that over. And for this one, I'm not having to flip like this. I have made my cut and I'm going to flip it over this way. All right. So my pointy edge is still up here on this side. And again, I'm on that 45-degree line. I've lined up with that cutting line. And now I have an even bigger triangle. And I'm just going to repeat that, flipping again. Pointy edge is still on my right-hand side. And I'm putting that corner on my cut line. Another triangle. And you're just going to repeat until you've made as many cuts as you can. All right, so you'll end up with 2 small triangles and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big triangles. All right, this is where it's going to get a little fun. We are finished with our trimmer. So we can set that aside. I'm going to start laying out my border. And I'm going to start with those smaller triangles. And I'm just, first you need to sort of pick the pattern you know, which side you want to show. I'm going to start with the, these dots. So I am placing my paper so this little triangle is about 1/4 of an inch from the top and bottom and roughly 1/4 of an inch from the side. We're going to want to place all of our triangles before we adhere them down so that you can double check your spacing. So once you have your side small, you're going to take one of your big guys and you're going to follow that line, trying your best to start it again about 1/4 of an inch from the top and bottom, giving yourself some equal space in between. Now you're going to take another big triangle and you're just going to lay that in the opposite direction, continuing the pattern. I'm not too worried about spacing just yet. I'm just getting them in the right general space. So you've created a really fun triangular border. Before you adhere down, go ahead and work on any of your your spacing that are bothering you. I would highly, highly recommend using our repositional tape runner. That way, if you tape it down and it goes crooked, you can pull it up and fix it. So I am not going to worry too much about getting it perfect. Right now, I'm just trying to be fast, and I'm going to go ahead and get this adhered down. All right, what do you guys think of this border? So you can rest the border on your page and you have a super simple but beautiful new look. Now, of course, we had one extra triangle left over after all of that. You can use that on your page as a fun bit of decoration to help tie the border in other locations. So this could be great with some sort of journaling card here. I don't know. I'm just throwing things in. We've got journal cards. pretend these are my photos here. And you've got a really fun, simple page. So with this one, I'm using 2 photos and a journal or decorative card. You could easily adapt this with less photos or even like one large, bigger one. Here I use the triangle for my photo to sort of make it pop. Here I put it behind the journal card. Do you guys have a preference on which one you like better? So are you guys team green blue or are you team orangey pink? You probably could predict it, but I'm team green blue. I also like that I added in more photo spots for that, so that also helps. It balances the pages a little better. So if I were to go back at that orange page and maybe work on adding more photos, turning it into a double page spread, something, then I might like it better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Are you guys using that 45-degree cut line, or have you just been like, oh, that's cool. I don't really know how to use it, but cool. If you haven't used it before, I hope this has inspired you to go out and try and use it and make more use of your 12-inch trimmer. It's the best tool on the market. And I say that like not trying to be like salesy. I just love it so much. So yeah, if you guys make anything using that 45-degree line, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, and then tag me at Scrap with Ash. That works on Instagram and Facebook. Or, you know, you could also just go to my Facebook or Instagram page, well, Facebook page, and comment underneath of the picture I post of like this video and show us your creations. I am posting daily content on Facebook and Instagram, and it is the best place to reach me one-on-one. I have also just recently launched all of my in-person events for the first half of the year. So if you are in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, or, you know, even a couple hours drive from Raleigh, make sure you check that out. I would love to have you guys. I hold my crops in a hotel with fairly affordable rooms. So if you wanted to make a weekend of it, spend the night before or after, and just have a really good time, it's the perfect weekend. Crafting and girl time. I mean, what can be better? And last but not least, if you guys see anything in this video that you love and just have to have, make sure you check out my Creative Memories website. That is where you will find all of your shopping needs. It's also where you will join my team. And guys, let me tell you, it is a fantastic time to join CM right now. There is an incentive trip starting, what's going to be not this April, but April 2024. We have like a year to earn it. And I think it is the easiest trip to earn ever, especially if you are starting brand new. So who doesn't want like a 3-day trip to Mexico for free? If you love creative memories, you love scrapbooking, you love sharing, talk to me, because I really think this could be for you. And there is nothing more like level boosting than earning a free trip. I've not earned like an actual trip. I've earned other incentives, and it always makes me feel so good. So I want to share that with you guys. So let me know if that's something you'd like to hear more about. Maybe I'll do a whole video about it. All right, guys, that is it for me this week. I will see you all again next week. Bye.